Okay, in this video we will configure Dot1x. This is our topology. Okay, we have two ISE node, ISE1 and ISE2, 210 and 220. Both are configured as a HA. We already done that one. And this is 100.230. This is our Active Directory, also DHCP server, DNS server, FTP server, NTP, and also certificate authority. Okay, so and here we have configured already VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40 and 100 VLAN, and between these switches there is a trunk, and the same VLAN are configured here as well. Okay, this is our edge router, internet router, which connected to the internet. Okay, so that these PC and these devices can reach to the internet. Here we have a access layer switch where two PC are connected. Okay, so let me go to my topology. I have two PC, PC1 and PC2. Consider them as a PC2. Both I will authenticate through Dot1x. PC1 is a domain PC which already joined this domain. We already done this one. How to join a PC, how to join PC to domain. Yeah, we done this one. And this one is a non-domain PC. So how we can do Dot1x on domain PC? How can we configure Dot1x on non-domain PC? So PC1 is connected to one interface and PC2 is connected to two interface. These are our two targeted interfaces. Okay, and this is my management PC from where I will access this ISE 210. Okay, so I already access 210 ISE, and this is our domain server because we will need this one to push a policy to this PC. So I already connected through remote desktop 192.168.100.230. So this is this scenario. Nothing is configured there. No Dot1x configure. We will configure on this switch. If I say show running, and you see there is no AAA configure right now. Okay, and these are our two targeted interfaces, 0/1 and 0/2. So this is my 0/1 interface and this is 0/2 interface. Both of them there is nothing configured right now. Okay, so this is our switch configuration. Okay, so let me go to my document. So I already told you my primary ISE IPS 210, ISE secondary is 220. Okay, and DNS server IPS 230. Okay, domain is test.local. We already configured this one, and the test user which I will test is employees. So we already create one group with employee with E1 as the username. If you go there, if you go to Active Directory user and computer, so we already created few groups. Okay, so these are employee where E1 is a user. Okay, and the test VLAN will be VLAN 20. Okay, you can test any VLAN, and VLAN subnet is 192.168.20 because it's mentioned here VLAN 20 has 20 subnet. Okay, VLAN 20 gateway is 20.1. okay, which already configure on this switch. We already configure this one. So if I say show IP interface brief, so this is VLAN 20 SVI. So it's already created. Authenticator switch is SW2. So yes, this is our switch which is our authenticator. We know what is authenticator. Okay, and authentication switch management IP is 100.254 because this switch is our gateway as well. So 100.254 is a management VLAN IP. You remember we create VLAN 100 for management purpose. So this one is 100.254. This is a management IP from where we can access this switch, and also we can use this IP for management purpose. Okay, done. And the Dot1x interface which we will use is 0/1. And also I want to show you a non-domain PC. So the other interface is 0/2. This is the scenario. Okay. Now first thing first, we need to configure Dot1x, means we need to configure switch for Dot1x, and we need to put these command AAA new model. What is this command? I will explain you in next video, but right now AAA new model will enable AAA services. Okay, Dot1x system auth control to enable Dot1x on this switch. This will enable AAA. This will enable Dot1x on this switch. Then I say Radius server ISE, and version 15 we enable like this. You can if you have more than 2 ISE, so you can make a group. So I give them ISE1. By the way, it has to be something else. Anyway, I give them ISE1. It's better to give ISE. So Radius server ISE, under this object I have 2 ISE configure, 210 and 220, because I have 2 ISE. If one is down, the other will work with authentication port and accounting port. We know this one, and the key is test 123. Okay, I enable separately. Okay, sorry. So this is ISE1, this is ISE1 detail, and this is ISE2 detail separately. The group I will create later on is here. Yeah, I thought I create the group here. So Radius server ISE1, this is ISE1 detail, and Radius ISE2, this is ISE2 detail with similar key, because I have 2 ISE. Then Radius server attribute, these are some of attribute I will explain you in next video. This is attribute 6, attribute 8, attribute 25, and also I say that send accounting detail, send authentication detail, and date criteria is 30 and try is 3 times, and Radius server timeout is 2. Okay, this is my group now. Then I create a group with the name ISE group, and now I call those 2 ISE, these 2 ISE, I call them here ISE1 and ISE2. So it means I will use afterward, I will use this one. So it means that it will call both the ISE. Okay, and will call the first ISE. If first ISE is not available, it will send the traffic to ISE2. Then I say IP radius source interface. For radius source interface is 100, because 100 is our management VLAN. It will send the traffic to ISE on this management interface, which is 100, because my ISE is also on the same VLAN. So that's why I say IP radius source interface will be VLAN 100. Then I say AAA authentication Dot1x default group. Use for authentication, AAA authentication Dot1x, use this group which I create here, where ISE1 and ISE2 I call. Okay, then I say that AAA authorization, for network authorization again use ISE1 and ISE2. Then I say accounting update periodic after 5. So it will send update after 5. Okay, then I say accounting Dot1x default start stop group ISE, again send accounting detail when it start, and when it stop send the log of message to ISE group. Then radius dynamic, I will explain you, by the way, leave it this one. This one basically you give authorization to ISE to change and shut down the port, either to take action in the switch. Okay, so this is a separate thing. Anyway, I enable this one, and I also enable Snmp. Why I need Snmp we will discuss in profile, but anyway I enable here, and the same test 123 is the community string. And then under the interface where my PC1 PC2 are connected, I will say description, I will put them in VLAN 20, I will make the port access, and we already discussed, don't ask me this one, we already discussed multi authentication, and also we discussed this one, port control auto. Okay, and I enable map, and also I enable Dot1x under the interface. This will enable Dot1x under switch, this one, and this will be enable Dot1x under the interface. And this the timeout period, spanning tree port fast is configure, and next authentication method will be check. If Dot1x not available, it will check the map authentication, and these are the order. First it will check Dot1x. If Dot1x fail, then it will check MAB. So these are the configuration which you need to put in the switch. Okay, but because I will use 2 port, okay, so I need to put these commands. So let me go to copy these command. This is the same command which I explained you, triple A new model and all these things. Okay, under this interface I will enable, and I think so is similar, so I will enable under the second interface as well. So let me copy this one and let's go to switch and let's go to configuration and paste these command which I explained you. Done. But this under one interface. So let me put interface E0/2 and let me copy the same command under the first interface, this one, and let me paste under the second interface. Okay, so now I enable under the 0/1 and let me see, I enable under the show running interface E0/1. So it's enable on this one and also 0/2. Okay, I did not enable under 2. So enable interface E0/2 and let me paste. Let me copy this one and paste. Done. So now I enable on the other interface as well. Let me show you. So under this 0/2 interface, I say description window, VLAN 20, mode access, and authentication event failed, try the next one, and mode multi-authentication, Dot1x and MAP, control auto, and this the enable and this the port fast. So I enable Dot1x under both interfaces. This is the first thing you need to do to configure switch for Dot1x. Okay, and version I'm running is this one, show version. So I'm running version 15. Okay, and under 15 you need to enable Dot1x such way, and this the image which I'm running. I will share the image detail as well, which switch I'm using in Eve. Okay, next thing I need to add switch to the network devices in Cisco ISE. This is the next thing. So let's go to ISE and go to administration, network devices, and here there is nothing because it's a fresh everything. Click on add and add the switch. So I will give them the same name, switch 2, description switch 2, and IP address. This is important, so I need the management IP. Show IP interface brief, and this is the management IP. Okay, let me copy this IP and paste here. Okay, and device profile is Cisco model if you want, so you can write down this the model. It's up to you, it's not required by the way, we just check out. So this the model, suppose let's put this one. By the way, it's not required, I'm just putting, and version 15, I told you this version 15. This is the location, so I'm putting right now under all location, and device type, all device type. You can create your device type as well. Right now I did not create, but it's okay. And I need radius authentication, so I will put the same password which I use here. So I use this one, test 123. If you go back, so here is the key, it has to be the same key. So under radius I will share this key and show, so it's okay. Okay, so radius, and also I will enable Snmp. So Snmp I'm using 2C and also the same key. So let me show you the key as well. I don't need TechX, we will do TechX later. Right now I'm doing radius. Okay, so I enable radius on this switch, I add the switch and just say submit. So this is the second thing you need to do for Dot1x authentication. So I go to network devices and I click here, I put switch detail, IP address, and then the model number, then the software version and location, etc. Then I put the key, test 123, and also I put the SNMP detail as well. Okay, and then I click save. Next thing, I need to create authentication policy. Even though there is by default authentication policy, but you can create your own. if you go to policy set, so here is a default one, and this default, when you click here, there is Dot1x authentication policy. So you see there is Dot1x by default, wire and wireless both, and also there is authorization policy for Dot1x. Look at. But in case if you want, it's better to create your own. So let me click on policy set. I don't want to use the default one. Click on this plus, either click here and this plus, you can create. Either you can click and insert new row above. It's up to you. So let me click on this button and let me create my one. So I don't know which name I give them. So let me see. Yeah, I gave them a Dot1x. So I would say Dot1x policy set. So I give them this name. Okay, and there is a default protocol we will discuss. Allowed protocol is only the default one, the one which is here. This predefined there, I will show you, and then click save. So this is my okay, I did not put, so it will give an error because Dot1x policy, I give them the name, but I did not put the condition. So I need to put the condition. Click on this plus to put the condition. So there is a default one. You can create your own and you can use this one. There is wire, because right now we are using wire. Just drag that one here, okay, and use. So I told them that my policy is for Dot1x policy set. Description if you want to give them, so you can say Dot1x policy for wired. If you want to give them any description, you can give, and condition is if it is a wire Dot1x, and default protocol is this one, and click save. So now I create my own policy set because it will check above, it's above the default one, so it will be checked first. Now I can click on this view to extend them. First, the device will be authenticated, so I need to create authentication policy. There is a default one. You can create your own. Either you can use the default one, but in the default one you can change them to your identity source. Okay, so what I will do, I will click here, and you remember we create our own AD, this one AD and internal store, that check first Active Directory. When nothing is available there, check internal. Then you remember we create identity sequence, so I put them that one. So that's the default one. Even you can change them, this the default condition to put them on Dot1x. Okay, so it's better to, rather than to default one, let me, it was whatever it was, I believe, reset. Let's create our own. Okay, so Dot1x authentication, rather than to use a default one, I would new row, and here I will give them a name Dot1x. Dot1x authentication policy. And now rather than to use internal user, I would say use our, where is AD and internal store, and Dot1x. Now I need the Dot1x condition. Okay, I don't know which authentication I put. Yeah, so here I give them a Dot1x. Right now I don't need wireless. Okay, and what I will do, I change this one and I will put condition wireless. Okay, so let me drag this one wire to make them simple. So this is the authentication. So say I say that Dot1x authentication policy is the name. If the condition is wire Dot1x, check the internal database, no, Active Directory, then internal database. Okay, and option is reject if authentication fail, and if user not found, reject, and if process fail, drop them. This the condition by default, and it's okay. So this one done. For Dot1x, I create the authentication policy. Next, I need to create authorization policy as well. So when the user authenticate, if the protocol is Dot1x, it will be .1x. So if the user is inside Active Directory, it will be authenticate. When authenticate, it will go to authorization. So let me create authorization policy as well. I will create a new rule above, and here I will give them name authorization policy. This is the name, and I will click on this one. Now for authorization, I need to check the database. And their database, I would say that if the user is from my Active Directory, I need to put restriction. So click to add attribute, click on this one and go down at the end. Where is our Active Directory? Let me see. It should be at the end normally. So let me see our Active Directory, and we can search here, by the way. Yeah, add test.local. It's better to do it like this. So I say add test local, check Active Directory external group. If it is equal, you remember we import these group last time. If it is okay to domain computer. Why domain computer? For machine authentication. And next I will create and I will make them R. Policy will be R. And again I will use add test local my directory, and this time I would say domain user. If the machine is from domain computer, or if the user is from domain user, because I will check a system which is not a domain computer. So that's why I put R. So if the user is from non-domain PC, but if the user is from domain user, they will allow them. So that's why I put R. So these are the two conditions I put them in my authorization. So what they will say, that will check that the PC is from domain computer, R, and if the user is from domain user, what to do? Give them access. Which access? There is by default one, permit access, and save. So now my authentication is ready and my authorization is ready, and I create my own policy set. So I create a policy set with .1x policy set, and I say condition is only check for wire connectivity and give and allow them. For authentication, check them that it is a wire authentication .1x, and check the user from internal Active Directory, and if it is okay, then authorize them if the user or the computer is from domain computer and domain user, give them a permission. That's it. So my policy is ready now. I create these two, domain computer and domain user. Okay, this is my policy now. It's ready and everything is working now, and permit access. Next thing is the .1x client. The issue is if I go to this window PC, because this is non-domain, keep in mind the last one is non-domain PC. So I need to enable here, I need to come to property, I need to come to authentication, and I need to enable .1x. And I need to enable this protocol, and I need to uncheck the certificate authentication, and I need to enable MS chip, and I need to check or uncheck this one, and then I need to put the user detail. I need to check this one. Then this PC will work. But who will do this one? If you have 500 PC, you need to go to every PC to do this one. So what is the way to do this thing automatically in domain PC, not a non-domain PC? So for that purpose, you can create a policy in your Active Directory to push these details automatically. And from where? So when you go to your group policy management, you can edit your policy, and you can go to window setting, you can go to security setting, and there is a wire network. The same thing can be enabled from centralized location, and this is our Active Directory. I already access them. And the second thing what I need to do, go to tool, go to group policy management. This is not your job. You need to tell to your system team, they will do. click on default domain policy, either create a new one. Now I need to go to policies, Windows setting, and Windows setting I need to go to security setting, and here will be wire, not wireless. For wireless you can also do the same. Click on wire network and right click and create a new policy. Let me give them Dot1x rule. So whatever I do here, it will be pushed to domain PC automatically. I need to go to security, look at the same configuration, enable Dot1x, and go to this one, uncheck this one, no certificate, and MS chip, and say use the domain login, because the domain PC will log in with their username and password. Click OK and click OK. This one is done. Now next thing, use computer or user authentication. It's better to do right now user authentication. User authentication and click advanced, and no need to enforce anything is better now. So I believe it's okay. So let me check again. It will check domain PC. It's okay. This is the protocol and user authentication, and apply and okay. Done. Our rule is created. But one thing more. In non-domain PC, what we do, then we go to services and enable this one. Unfortunately, you need to go to, it's not enable, this is not enable. You need to go to services, okay, and you need to enable wire supplicant. So if I click here and go back, there should be wire, it should be here, yeah, this one. So it's not enabled by default. It's stop. I enabled before, yeah, but in this PC. So second thing we're done with this one, but we need to enable. We done, okay. I uncheck this one, we check this one, we check this one, and then we configure. Next thing we need to do, we need to go to system setting and wire, okay, and we need to enable this wire auto configuration services automatically. So let me go to policy again, and it's not far away. We are already here. You need to go to system services, and here is wire, the same thing, which we enable individually, and each PC you need to enable from here and make them automatic. Apply, okay, done. Close this one, close this one, and now push this policy. Write down gp update/force. Okay, so it will push this policy to all domain PC. So we don't need to enable this services on each PC, and we don't need to configure this wire supplicant in every PC. It will done automatically from policy. Done. So we are done with this one. Now coming to the last thing. Last thing is, this is our domain PC which already joined Active Directory. So when I on this device, it will get those policy automatically which we enable. So let me on this PC, and Dot1x is enabled here, Dot1x is enabled here, but this one is domain PC and this one is non-domain PC. For non-domain PC, I need to do these steps myself. So this is automatic, this is running, this is the first step. Then I need to go to interface. I need to click interface. Keep in mind, this is non-domain PC. I need to click authentication. I need to enable this one. Then I need to uncheck this one. Then I need to configure this, and I need to uncheck this one because non-domain PC will not log in with domain username and password. So I uncheck this one, and here additional setting, I need to put user authentication, and I need to put the username. So here I will put username test /e1 employee 1, and here password is abc@12345. Let me check. Yes, we already have this domain user. You remember we create this one. Let me show you again. So I log in with the non-domain PC with this user E1. Okay, and I need to okay. So I save here and click OK and click OK. Now this PC will be authenticated with switch. So let's go to switch, this PC is authenticate on E0/2 non-domain PC I'm talking about, and show authentication session. Look at, both are authenticate, but the first one is authenticate through map because I just on the PC, so I will clear that one. Either when I log in with the user, so it will be Dot1x. 0/2 is authenticate with Dot1x and it's been authenticated successfully. And if I say show authentication interface E0/2 detail, so this is the detail. They say the MAC address of this PC is this one. So if I go and check the MAC address, okay, so this is my MAC address 0200, yes, 0200. IPv6 is not, and 20.17 is IP, yes, 20.17 is IP. And the user which login is E1, yes, I put this username, and non-domain PC, and status is authorized, domain is data, multi-authentication method we are using, okay, and this the timing period and session, and this the session ID, okay, and this the everything, and this the port, and nothing is there. And Dot1x method is used, yes, we use Dot1x. For non-domain PC, we need to put the username and password. And if I go to Cisco ISE and go to radius live log, here you will see that user. And if I say okay, never, so here is this the user E1, this the MAC address, and it use which method it use, by the way, this the second one. This one use our Dot1x authentication policy, but the other PC not. So let me go to that PC. It will change from map to Dot1x. So let me log in. Maybe the policy is not pushed, so that can be the issue. So let me log in with C1, because C1 is also a user, abc@12345, and let me see, yes, and let's log in now. Maybe the switch will change other. So let's see, show authentication session. Yeah, it's changed now from Dot1, because I was not logging with domain username. Now I log in with a C1, and if I go there, it will show C1. E1 is already done, and after a while, yeah, C1 is here now. They say C1 is came and it's been authenticated successfully. And which policy they use? Authentication policy. They use the policy which we create, Dot1x authentication policy. And which authorization they use? They use our authorization policy. Authorization policy, we give them this name. You remember here we create this name, so they use our policy and also our authentication. So this is our authentication policy name, this one, Dot1x authentication policy, and also they use our authorization policy. Okay, you will see the hits after a while here because this using this method. And if I go live log again, okay, and this the user, let's go to my user, domain user, and if I go there, let me see that they enable that thing automatically, yes. So if I go to change adapter setting and change adapter, so it's get 20.13 IP. I need to go to properties. Because it's a domain PC, I need to log in administrator. Password is abc@12345, and if it allowed me, okay, it allowed me. Look at now, I did not enable. It's enabled by that policy. These settings are managed by your system administrator, so it's enabled by default, and setting is also enabled by default. Look at, I cannot do anything. And if I click on config, so it's also automatic, because that policy pushed them here automatically from Active Directory policy. You see, we enable from here, yeah, from here tool, and here is group policy management. From domain we push this policy, so every domain PC, when they join computer, they join domain, these policy will be enabled automatically, this Dot1x. That's the reason. And how they check the user? So the user which is login, they check that user, and that user is C1. That's why it's showing us here C1, and the other I put E1, non-domain PC. Again, I can log in because I put the correct username and password. So this is the way for domain PC and non-domain PC. And when we go to switch, okay, you can check here, show authentication session interface E0/1 detail. So this is the Ethernet 0/1, this interface. This is the MAC address, IP address, they get this one. And look at C1 because C1 login. Authorized data multi-authentication and each and everything, and maybe stop, and then they authenticate with Dot1x. You get what I'm saying and how it work? So it will check the user which is login. If I log off and log in with another user, they will check that username and password from Active Directory. So when the entry came from here, switch forward to ISE. ISE check C1 and password here in Active Directory. Active Directory say yes, it's true, because we already integrate our ISE with external identity source. That's the identity source which we connect already. We are using external identity. Okay, ISE1 and ISE2 both has joined. That's why it's not showing, because this ISE is down right now. And these are our group. So C1 belong to domain user, because domain user means every user when you create is belong to domain user. So I just choose domain user. So my E1, if I go to domain user, here is domain user, where is domain user, here is, and member. So every user C1, E1, G1, every user belong to domain user. So I say check if the user belong to domain user, authenticate them, and that's why I been authenticate. They check with Active Directory C1 and E1. Active Directory say yes, this user is there, and this the password is correct. That's why these two PC authenticate successfully through Dot1x. They use the Dot1x method, but this is non-domain PC. I put my user and password there, but here it's automatically when they log in with username and password, they pick that username and password and send to ISE. So let's go what I missed. So I show you this one, radius lag. Also show Dot1x interface, show Dot1x all. You can verify from here as well. So if I type here show Dot1x all, this is the command. It will also show you that protocol, etc., authenticator, and this the time and everything, and two interfaces we configure Dot1x. So it's showing you those a detail. And also you can say show authentication session, and for specific interface you can verify. And there is another command, by the way, just remember, show IP tracking something, show IP. There is one command which will show you the detail for this VLAN and all these detail. Show IP traffic. No, there is show IP show IP track. Sorry. Show IP track interface summary, maybe. No, this is the command. I forgot the command. There is one command which can show you those more detail as well, but I forgot anyway. When I remember, I will show you. So this is the show authentication, and we check from here, and we also check show authentication session interface detail, and Dot1x was used. Show Dot1x all, you can verify from here, and we verify. By the way, if you want to check, so from here to here, EAPOL protocol is used, and from here to here radius will use. You can capture, I show you last time as well. So from here to here nothing will be allowed, and this port by default will be unauthorized. When the user authenticate, so the port will be authorized and accounting will start as well. So that's why this the authentication, and you can click here and see more detail as well if you are interested in more detail. So that's the C1 authentication successful, and .1x authentication policy use and authorization policy is used, and we allowed them permit access. Then in authentication, these are the detail. Authentication successful, user was C1. Okay, it was a workstation. Identity store, we check AD test local. Okay, these the protocol which we use, and authentication method was .1x. SW2 was the switch, and this the IP of the switch, and the interface was 0/1, and Ethernet was used, permit access. Now this is other attributes. These are the other attributes you can check, and AD, internal user, internal endpoint, guest user. These are the authentication store sequence which we put. Okay, and this the username, this the CNR, everything. And if I go to down, this the result. So this the thing, and basic license was consumed. You know, I told you base license will consume when .1x is used. So they mentioned that .1x base license is used, and these are the steps. Access request, then policy was checked, then AP response and identity, then they check TLS, because TLS protocol is also enabled. They check that one, then they check the user and Active Directory, and so all the steps are here which they done. So they check this user, and user authenticate against Active Directory. So the user was there, so that's why it's successful. So authentication was passed, and then MS chip authentication attempt pass, and each and everything, and last we give them access. So this the full process is mentioned here: authentication, authorization, and each and everything for this user which are using a .1x authentication. Okay, so from here to here EAPOL protocol, and then from here to here radius. Then ISE check the user here with Active Directory, so it's say yes, it's available, then it's been authenticated, and that's why we are connected. And switch are showing here, show authentication session. So we have two session, 0/1 where our domain PC is connected, and 0/2 where our non-domain PC are connected, and method are using .1x, and both are data domain, not a voice. And authentication is successful. This the status. Okay, so this how we can configure .1x. Okay, these were the steps. In real world we use this Active Directory to push this. You can use any connect as well, but also this one. Then we create authentication and authorization policy. What else? If I left something, no, we register the user and the device and everything, and this the switch configuration, and this was our topology which we use. So this was .1x configuration.